We're getting some back feedback. We're getting some back feedback. I'm muted. Ain't that a fucking bitch? Anyway, we don't have any feedback. That was a good fucking rant too, man. All right, so here I'm not looking at the chat either, so let me look at the chat. No sound. Boom. Okay. I don't know what you haven't heard. Moses is back there clapping his ass off. So anyway, oi, crypto pirates, welcome to your Discourse Syndicate. I'm RG3, Captain RG3. I'm here with Litecoin Moses, Cutthroat, and my number one deckhand. He's here on deck, but I haven't brought him up because I have something to say first. So the FN Hangout, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties with this background thing. I'm going to try and fix it a little later when Steph and Firebun start talking. But anyway, I just wanted to say the FN Hangout was absolutely awesome on Friday. I know that both sides of an argument got very, very heated. What I wanted to say about that was this. You know, this place is Discourse Syndicate. That means that we talk about everything, and we're a group of like-minded people that talk about everything.
So having your opinions is great. Putting facts on the table is great. Hashing those things out and discussing them is great. The part that really sucked was this weekend was some of the comments that I got on the DMs from both sides. I'm not going to blame either side because both of you guys were just as equally fucked up about it as the other side. What you guys did was some of you guys decided it was okay to DM me and talk shit. Well, I got news for you. I don't give a fuck what you have to say to me about this. I gave a place for people to talk about this, and that's what this is for. So have at it. Keep going. Keep doing it. I'm not going to censor either side. I'm not going to take either side. And if you guys fight about it and start cutting each other's throats and doing all that shit, I'm just going to sit back and laugh because you guys are all in crypto and having feelies about this and having feelings and getting hurt feelings about it. I think you might want to think twice about that. And if you're going to come on the streams or you're going to DM people after you've maybe been, maybe you're not in your right mind, then you might want to think twice about that because all this shit is recorded. All of this shit people see. So think about that twice before you, drunk DM or do whatever and start talking shit to people because it's not cool. And I know a lot of people got a lot of threatening messages and whatnot, including myself. Whatever. I think that's bullshit and that's childish. And, you guys need to save that shit. This is a place for discussion. This is a place to hash things out, a place to figure out the facts and learn stuff. So let's try and do that. Next Friday night is going to be guaranteed to probably be another one. So next Friday night, hang out and we'll see what happens. But today I'm going to bring my first hand up now that I'm done with my little rant on that. Litecoin Moses, what is up, my brother?
Mute King himself. What is up, man?
You're muted.
No. I was waving. Man. I was like, dude,
I saw you waving.
What are you doing?
Oh fuck, man. Oh well.
Yeah, it was epic. I bet
it was the first part. The first part that was muted was better.
I was like, you were like that part of the Forrest Gump movie when he's talking to everybody in front of Washington during the Vietnam War, saying that's what I feel about that. They walk off stage.
Like I said, that's what happens when you put a pirate in charge of shit, right? So right. Anyway, yeah. So I wanted to say that without you on screen, so you didn't have to comment or anything. But if you want to, you can go ahead. I didn't want to cut you out, but I didn't want to put you in the spot of having to say anything about it.
It is too damn early for the fucking community to be fighting like a bunch of animals, man. What the fuck, man? It was funny. I will say that. It was funny, but it was also not cool, man. Yeah. I saw a lot of people posting videos that they got deleted all of a sudden as well. So
yeah, okay. I saved a bunch of them just to let everybody know. So I saved a bunch of your videos.
Hey, dude, that's something I said on the last stream as well. Like, we are still we haven't even reached the point yet. If we're, let's just say if HEX was Bitcoin, right? We haven't even reached the point yet where we should be even making that many altcoins, right? Like we're making Mastercoin and we're making Darkcoin and all this other shit. But either way, man.
Either way.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. Yeah. So, and you know what? It was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't like babysitting and doing damage control and being the center of the fucking whining and crying from, people and stuff. And I did. I sat in the middle of it, but I was like, I buried my best friend yesterday from, the third grade. And I was in no place emotionally to be dealing with everybody's feelings and stuff. So I'm sorry if I was a little harsh with some of you and the DMs and stuff, but, I just didn't have the patience for it. Right. Dude, last night, man. So this guy, this is my buddy from the third grade. We grew up together. He's like my brother, he passed away in December and we couldn't have a funeral for him because of the stupid COVID bullshit, And so what we did was we were able to finally have it yesterday. And so I'm driving out there and my car breaks down.
We were talking too. We were talking.
Yeah, we were talking. Yeah, that's when I got off. So
yeah.
When I got off the phone with you, it was like, I'm in a hybrid. My wife's hybrid. Of course, I've got my wife's car. She's like, you got to take my car because, anyway. So I took her car and the damn thing breaks down on me. So I'm pulled off the side of the road. Somebody else had to come and pick me up. And then I had to deal with that. I waited on the freeway for 5 fucking hours to get picked up. 5 hours.
Oh my god.
The tow truck company screwed up and they like sent me messages like every hour they were sending me messages. They sent me 3 messages. Oh, sorry, we're going to be delayed. We're going to be delayed. And finally I called my insurance company and said, hey, this is bullshit. And then they finally sent somebody. But I didn't get home till like 11:30, man. It was just and after all day and all night of getting DM ding 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 my DMs and all that shit. After everybody was all butthurt and panties had sand in them and all that shit, and it was quite a day yesterday. Yeah. So I'm glad to be doing what we're going to be doing today. I can't wait to try and turn this damn thing off and see if I could fix this. It's something to do with the green screen. When I turn this green screen on, it starts flashing.
Dude, but anyway, could have drove to you in 5 hours. That would have been
no shit. You could.
I could have picked you up.
You could have picked me up and took me home in that amount of time.
Right.
Shit. On the side of the road.
Me, man. I would have gone and picked you up, man. For real.
I know, man. I know you got my back. So if it was what was the bad thing? So when you're in an electric car like that,
right?
The power just whacked. I mean, when I was talking to you, it just completely, the whole car shut off. I got off to the side of the road and I was in a really bad spot on the freeway, and really like an off ramp and in the little V section right there, barely could get my car in there. And the stupid electric cars, man, hybrids, when the battery like shuts out like that and completely dies, you don't have any hazards, nothing. It was everything. What? So I had no hazards. So when I got back there, I finally got dropped back off in my car after the funeral and stuff. I called the tow truck company. It started getting dark. I'm like, shit, man, this is getting scary now. So now I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go walk over to that. There was a little electrical box or something a little ways away. So I'm going to go stand over there. I'm standing over there and it starts fucking raining, man.
Dude.
So I'm like standing out there. Oh, shit. So I had to come back and sit in my car and wait. And just like every time a big rig or something come out, like, oh, shit. Get it. So, but everything's all right. I made it, got home. It was late as shit, but whatever. So anyway, we have a freaking cool show today, bro. We got so Firebun and Steph are 2 of the, I guess, content creators, they make not really dApps, but I guess maybe they might be turn them into something like that. I don't know. That's going to be what we're going to hear about, I guess.
Right.
But they both made, statistics applications for us to view our HEX. And man, now I don't know if I had anything to do with it. Oh, you know what? I need to disclaim something that I said a while back ago. So like in February, when I started hanging out in the chat, in the Telegram chat room, one night we were talking about like the names for hexagons, and I said hexagon. It just came up on top of my head. I just said it, and we voted. We like had a vote, and then people started calling each other hexagons, and I was like, oh shit, cool, that's cool. I did it. Well, somebody in the chat, I forget who it was. Oh man, Lone Star. He'll pop in probably and say it. Well, one of them said, hey, dude, fuck you, man. We were saying hexagon since like last year. And I was like, oh, shit. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I went and looked back in Telegram. Sure as shit, they were calling each other hexagons back then. So his is way deeper and longer than me, man. So
right.
Hexagons was not, I didn't come up with it. I said it, but I didn't. So anyway, I had to mention that. But anyway, these 2 guys, Firebun and Steph, they had like the best apps out to everything you wanted to know about Hex was out there with those 2 guys. Yeah. And I was like, man, with the way Steph, his shit is beautiful, man. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's just beautiful. When we finally hit the 100X and the freaking things was like going off and stuff. I mean,
fireworks,
the fireworks, man.
Yeah.
That was some good shit right there, man. That was,
the ranking systems and everything.
The ranking systems, all of that, man. It was just like, and I mean, I'll admit it. I was looking at it going, man, I could just get to the next rank. I put a few more ETH in, I can get to the next rank,
A little more gamification.
just a little more. So I was like, yeah, look at what he did, man. That is awesome that he put that in there and kind of make people wanting to get a little more hex, get more shares, So anyway, so can't say enough good stuff about Steph and what he's created and how beautiful it is. And then there's Firebun, and Firebun like put out the shit, man. I mean, it was like you couldn't dive deeper into Hex if you wanted to with his site. It's everything's there. You can just you go in and just like crawl into a Hex rabbit hole there and just dig. And one day I said, hey, man, if these two guys got together, man, and did something, that would be fucking cool, man. They'd probably come up with some badass shit. And, well, sure as shit, man. They did somehow, some way. I was talking to Firebun one day. I said, hey, dude, man, that would be really cool. And he's like, I don't think it's not already happening. I ain't going to say anything, but, and I was like, oh, shit. So anyway, without any further like build up to this thing, and let me bring our two boys up here, our cutthroats, Steph and Firebun. What's happening, dudes?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Oh, man.
Hello, guys.
Hey,
thanks for having us.
How you doing, Steph?
Doing great. Sorry, yeah, it's a bit late here in Paris.
It's like 3-4 in the morning.
I don't think. Yeah, it's about 3 a.m. So I don't think I was telling, but I wanted just to say hi.
Right on. Well, I'll let you go ahead and start and kick off anything you'd like to talk about or update us on, and then we'll probably throw some questions in there. I'm gonna skip off the stream real quick and try and fix my PC. So I'll let you guys go have at it for a second. Go ahead, Steph.
All right, Steph.
Yeah, sure.
Steph's the man.
So I think. So everything started a couple of weeks back. I think I was just thinking about what was the next step for Dlive. Should I invest more of my time to build like a more ambitious project that goes just beyond a statistical website, something that would give more power to users to stake on the platform, to manage their stakes. And I quickly realized that I need to partner with the best person I could partner in the X ecosystem, and that was Firebun. I've seen him just engage a lot with a lot of different pieces of the ecosystem, not only on the X side, but also with the Uniswap folks, with the CMC folks. And so I just came to him and said, hey, are you excited about the vision? And luckily he said yes. So it's been a couple of weeks. We've been starting to cook something very interesting for you guys.
Nice.
Anything you want to add, Firebun?
Well, for me, I mean, the story is a little different, right? So I've just been creating things for Hex because I want Hex to do well. I mean, I've got a Hex bag myself. I figured out I can pump my own bags by doing certain things. And it turns out, I think if you create a good product, then it can both be a good product and promote Hex further. So it was kind of nice that Steph reached out, because it's like, I don't know. The one thing that I was trying to figure out how we need to solve is like, we need better onboarding. Like, it's too hard, and it's too, just like you go from different app to different app and like, you don't know how to stake right. I mean, there's way too much information for the average person. So I was excited because obviously I think Steph's a great developer. When I first saw Hex.lab, I thought it was a team of developers that put it together. It's like, I was like suspicious of like Richard hiring a team or something to do that. So it's been really good so far. He reached out it's been a few weeks now. A while now. But it's primarily been Steph kind of took over, like managing and like reaching out to other platforms. And he's primarily focused on doing like the UI stuff because that's really what he's good at. And he's like good at understanding what the user might see and how they might interact with the app. So obviously Steph like did a really good job gamifying the staking by using the shares in the ranking system. And we're just trying to take that a step further. So both simplify it and combine things into one product where it's kind of the best of both myself and Steph. So that's kind of the goal with what we're trying to do.
So can you tell us some of the functions that you might be adding to it, or?
I leave that to Steph. Steph's the announcement guy. So
Yeah,
whatever you feel like revealing.
So yeah, just gonna build on top of what Firebun just said, and maybe give you some little Easter eggs just to keep you to keep you excited. So I think right now, if you look at cryptocurrencies, and I think RG3 you mentioned many times, is very, very complex ecosystem. It's a bit like the analogy I was giving Firebun and a couple of like friends and family member of mine the other day, is like as if we were in like between 95 and 2000, and you need to connect to the internet. You are using your 56K modem, and when using the internet, you would not be able to receive any call on your landline, right? So same thing when the first user were to use the emailing, the understanding of how to build your email address with domain.x would have been something very, very difficult for people to appreciate. So I think we are at this stage in crypto where everything is currently at the infrastructure level, and even if you look at most of protocols that are being developed, they're mostly serving very advanced user. So that's why I think the experience is very broken. The fact that you need to do all this conversion from one asset to another asset to get some ETH and then X, the fact that you need to get some ETH on your account to do any transaction with kind of MetaMask and approve them and make sure that you keep funding your account with some ETH if you want to do some transaction. It's convoluted. If you look at HEX, the HEX protocol itself, there's so much complexity in terms of like the function that people can leverage, but also the dynamics that can cause in terms of your actions. I think there's a lot of room to simplify the experience for the users, a different aspect of that experience, whether to get more X in the first place or once you have some, how you manage your X. So I think the goal was really to say, hey, things are very, very convoluted, and at the protocol level, can we abstract that away for the users and just create an experience where things are simple, where you, in a couple of clicks, you get your CD ladder stake set up. Even the fact to mention shares and how they play out in time is something advanced. So maybe we'll have a version where we'll try to just put that on the side and having some more advanced features for users. But the goal is to show even people that are not in X that this is a financial product and you can get very competitive yield, right? Most people don't need to understand more than that. It's a financial product and you can get very high yield. And this is how it compares to what you would naturally get with your bank or even competing protocol. And beyond that, most people don't need to go to the depth of that. Then we have another challenge, which is most people that are currently in the X community are struggling between, just taking their money for the long time, but also what to do in the meantime, right? So there's this urge. Everybody's a bit of a gambler in the crypto world. People are very risk tolerance. So the challenge is how do you kind of like sort out that tension between the long-term aspect of your natures versus like your natural tendency to want to gamble. And so I think we have a couple of exciting features that try to resolve that tension, as well as strengthen the X ecosystem. I'm just gonna give one away right now. Imagine that on the weekly basis, you would have a little competition per league. So right now we created through Hex.Live this system of leagues. I think we're gonna port that over onto Staker, and within your league, you every week there's a staking competition that we would be rewarding either in X or most likely in X, depending on how long you've been staking. So if you're in the Cool Crab league, and within the week you've been staking, let's say 1000x for 15 years, and then you'll be on the just competing with any other one within your league staking during that week, and at the end of the week you will be just gathering a prize, right? So across the 9 leagues that we currently have, everybody will be able just to play that game, and the goal is just everybody just to win a bit more X if they want to participate, right? But also that drives the entire ecosystem just further, because you get more people engaged with that concept of staking in the long term, and people to think about managing their financial asset a bit differently. So this is an example of where we want to go, is really taking that little piece of gamification to the next level while reinforcing the X ecosystem.
So
it was a bit long, but
so who's got a longer stake contest, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a longer stake contest that will be running, every week across the 9 leagues. So you don't need to compete against people that have like more than yourself. It's just confined to your own little league. So so everybody can. That the goal is like it's very, just inviting everybody can enter, and so we're gonna just pilot this kind of few things that just make the whole things a bit more interesting in the short term, while thinking about the long term. That's the goal. So that was just an example. We have a couple of other things along this line as well.
Are you two merging your websites together, or they're still separate?
So we'll be just, I think, having a suite of solutions. I think Stakers, obviously, it's a business to consumer solutions. The goal is for the daily person just to get on it, download the app. There will be a web version as well, and just manage the stake at the individual level. And then some of the other stuff that we've done on the statistical level, including Uniswap.vision, we'll be bringing that more under like a B2B umbrella, where people will be eventually able just to have some more advanced features or list their coins, all these kind of things.
Nice. Let's see if we got some. Anybody else? Go ahead. I'm looking at some questions in the chat room.
I'd just like to add that we're trying to further incentivize and also like let people understand how to stake better, but simpler. Like, It's just too complex to understand exactly how the shares work and how you should stake. You gotta know Hex pretty deeply. But if you can see some sort of estimate or some sort of projection, maybe what your returns might look like, and then like you can kind of dial it up or down earlier or later into the future, depending on like how aggressive you are. So these are the kind of things that we're keeping in mind. And what Steph shared is like this much. When he first came to me, he had like a 3-page document of like what we were gonna do. And like since then, we've added like a ton of things to it. So I mean,
can you imagine later on you guys have a Siri voice saying like, "Hey, Steph, if you stake this much, it gets you into the next level. Your average stake is 50,000 hex. If you do 1,555, you will be into the next level." Stake now.
I think
we need one that says, "No, you stupid fuck. That's the wrong fucking stake. Get it out there longer, you bastard, you pansy ass."
Stop being a little.
Steph and Firebun say, "Stake longer, wimp."
That's a sissy boy steak.
I think like when you just got it perfectly. I think imagine when you were just discovering X, you had a view about, hey, let's just simply state my risk profile. Sometimes there's more aggressive view, more conservative one, and based on that, we offer, let's say, a CD ladder template, right? It's like pre-filled based on what we see for people having kind of the same amount of X that you have. Another approach could be, hey, within your leagues or the league above, this is like the best performer in terms of like people that have been staking since the beginning, right? And so you could decide, well, they have like 50 or 100 stakes spread out in a certain way. Do I want to copy stake, so to speak, their ladder, right? And then I say, well, maybe I want to copy stake the ladder and maybe customize a bit further mine. So I just remove a couple of stakes. We want to provide an interface that's, hey, in a couple of clicks, you set up, you have a projection of like the rough range of ROI that you're gonna make in X. And and we're looking to the state of the art of the innovation that is happening on Ethereum, just to reduce the amount of like fees that are happening. Because I'm not sure if you're aware, but most people that have been doing CD ladders above, let's say, 100 stakes. If every transaction is about 50 cents, if it's $50 of just to set up a CD ladder. So people don't realize because they spread this little piece one Bitcoin by bit. Same thing when you're doing trading on Uniswap. So there's more stuff that we're doing just to bring that ecosystem in a more crazy fashion. So you're aware of how much you're spending because now things are buried under a lot of transactions that that is something that you don't see.
I have a lot of stakes.
Somebody said, will Staker have its own incentive token? And the answer is yes, and that is HEX. So, yeah. So the incentive for our app is to use HEX. But the thing how I like to vision it coming out is like HEX can be viewed as a legitimate financial product, and that's how we want to provide. Right? Yeah, that's how we want to present it exactly. And I think like you get in. If you're in the chat, the common struggles that people have with HEX, like picking the right gas fee. And, you don't know, like, if it's going through, if you send it to the right place, you don't know how long it's going to take. Like, that stuff's just too complicated for a normal person to want to deal with. So those are the things that we have on our mind, is just like simplifying the whole experience while also presenting it as like a legitimate financial product in the best way that we can.
Yeah, just operating a MetaMask wallet properly is difficult.
Right.
I mean,
if the blockchain's congested, it's like people get concerned about what they're doing in their transactions, and you see that a lot.
Or their fees jump up. Hey, I just staked like this, and it cost me 12 cents, and now it's costing me 92 cents. This what's going on here? Those things people look at it and go, what is this? I don't understand,
Is there a way on the website, maybe, because like, especially for like novice investors, to show like what's the percentage gains? I know it's an estimate because it always changes depending on this, how many people are actually staked at the time. But right now, currently, there's like, let's just say it's 20%. I know it's 19, but let's just say it's 20%. And if you could show what you would gain on 1 month, 3 months, 6 in 1 year. Right. And then that's usually like when a person first comes into the ecosystem, that's probably what they're going to stake. I mean, especially like I feel like we're going to get a lot more people towards the tail end of the, big payday. And then once big payday is over, that's going to be like the big show, essentially. Like what kind of interest can I accrue doing that? And you think that's possible to put that on the website? I know it'll change day to day depending on the stake lengths and the amount, the percentage of the ecosystem staked.
Yeah, so the more data that we just accumulate, I think the better you can show people like different the average like behaviors across the entire platform, but also across profile. Like we can cluster different kind of behaviors, people that tends to stake longer term or shorter terms, and just present that data in a very nicely way, so that people can realize, hey, the people that tend to stake less than a year, this on average how much ROI they make. People that takes more than 10 years, this is how much ROI they tend to make right in X. So that's I think where we're going, where you're not just trying darts a bit randomly and see what sticks, but you get more informed view on the X protocol itself, and the more data we get, the better it's going to be easy to do that. Obviously, the first year is a bit skewed just because of big payday. So we'll see what we can do to try to normalize that or not. But yeah.
Because that'd be really cool, because you'd be able to do like a 1 day snapshot and do like, I know sometimes banner ads don't really work, but it'd be kind of cool to put some banner somewhere where it's showing today's date. This is what you'd get on these 4, and then have that kind of blasted across the interwebs. And I think because that's the way I'm seeing a lot of these other DeFi projects kind of promote, essentially, is like, whoa, earn 6% on Bitcoin, earn this and that, and then you can maybe say like earn this much on HEX, and because we are going to be a banking product, right? So we have to compete with those people, and just looking at how they advertise themselves, that's probably a really good way, because we're blowing them out of the water, especially percentage wise.
Yeah. So we've got another question, and the guy who asked this question is actually going to come on, and he's one of our regular cutthroats. So I'm going to bring him on to elaborate on what he's asking for. So
I don't recall that in the spec.
Funding Jim, what's up, bro?
Is that a feature request?
I was just egging a little bit in the comment section and didn't realize it was going to come on. But, very good to be here. Great to see Steph in person as far as video call, chatted in the past.
Yeah.
And 2 things, because I have another call I have to do as well, so I've only got a moment. But 2 things that were really interesting and why I wanted to ask a couple questions. The beauty of the UI, and like you were saying, of the complexity, the depth, the game theory, the cult of personality of Richard Hart, all those kinds of things, those might be attractive qualities for many, but the simplicity of an app that simply has radio dials, this idea of dialing in what your ROI would be, dialing in, some graphical kind of, I just wanted to, like, I'm turning the volume on a
slider,
a nice song
slider.
So, something that it feels like they do it inside of a lot of financial products, especially if it's something like what's your risk profile, what's your risk curve inside of Vanguard or any other kind of TD Ameritrade, that kind of stuff. They'll say, okay, I just want to set it and forget it about what my risk profile is. What am I comfortable with at my age or at my risk tolerance or whatever it might be? Because I've heard that played out in 20 to 30-year-olds have more of an appetite. 40 to 50-year-olds look at, hey, I want ROI within 5 to 10 years where I can actually use it. I don't really have a lot of debt, so I'm not trying to snowball to be millions. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people that already have some sense of equity or they're established to a degree, they say, hey, this is a great asset to diversify into. So I was just thinking about, instead of like the sliders and being so, I don't know, manipulate it to fine tune it, I just want a radio dial situation. And I think that kind of onboarding experience, that UI experience, is important, because that's really what transitioned Windows and Apple, the UI, the intuitive side. There's 1,000 things that it does for you before you ever have to think about it. If I just want toast, I don't need to know how electricity works or how what kind of material the heating element's made of. I just want toast. So the ROI aspect is very interesting, because you can have obviously a system state of what's happening at that moment, how many people are staked and how many of the pools, and the caveat that things can change, or ROI can change as the network effects take over, that kind of stuff. So you can have your disclaimers, but in a snap, I want to be able to say, for this one, I want X, right? And I just want it to be graphically interesting, but not overwhelming with data, because I love digesting data and I like all of these little manipulations. And the trend for males, especially in technology, is the minutia, the engineer. This is how this works. I need to know this piece of data before I make a decision, before I commit $50. I need to understand how all these things work. And the very simplistic, to a degree, dial it in, dial it down, simple controls like on a stereo. I like more tone. I like more bass. those simple kinds of sound analogies, I think that'd be very powerful.
Yeah, no, but thanks for your feedback. And you made the analogy with the toaster, explaining, you don't really care, how it's being made about or how it's being powered. You just care about having your piece of bread just toasted, right? And this is what we are going for, is for the usage, not so much the tooling and the protocols and infrastructures, about fees, about MetaMask, and even I'm gonna share with you guys that we are experimenting with something that could make people not to think so much about having their seed phrase registered, right? We are just looking in terms of onboarding experience. What is the thing that we can do to help people getting onboarded while keeping high level of security? So there's a lot of dynamic improvements are being made with different companies on the Ethereum ecosystem, and I think this is the right time right now. Things are very vibrant to start leveraging all these different partners and SDKs to provide a better experience for users. So we really want to be at the very end of the stacks, where we provide a very cohesive experience for the users, whereas they don't need to think too much about what is Ethereum or blockchain. What we want to highlight, focus on and highlight things for the users is really, hey, you're putting a bit of money. Why is that so? Is that for 5 years, 10 years? What kind of yield do you want, right? And then even personifying your engagement with the smart contract, right? We have this idea of having the ability for you to name your different stakes or your bundle of stakes. If you're just financing the college fund of your kid, you could be able just to name it against the stakes, and then it takes more emotional weight for you to do so. So it's really just looking at why you involve at all with any financial product is for doing something with it at a later time, right? And it needs to be resonating with your personal lives. So this is what we are going for. It's really the end goal of the user.
Yeah, so when you're, obviously the different websites have different personas because different people built them between the two of you. And it's really interesting about the emotional connection of a simplicity. So I started putting out tiny little motivational videos. They're in Creative Commons. So you basically can just brand them. You can put Hex stuff on it. I just started doing that today. But what I was getting at is people don't really even care about the number. They say, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Well, what does a millionaire mean to you? What does that mean? Because you need to have an emotional connection to understand, oh, I just want freedom. What do you actually need when you need freedom? I need 50 grand a year. That's what I need. I need 50 grand a year. If I have 50 grand a year, I'm free. So the emotional connection in a UI experience, a user interface is important. And you have to be careful, obviously, about, promises and about all the legal, financial associations and things like that. But that's really what I'll see conventional legacy finance products do with their web experience or their app experience. They really are trying to tie this in, like you just said. I just had a kid, and in 20 years, I'm going to marry this kid off. I got to plan for that, event. Or I got to, that kid's going to go to college or whatever. It's anticipation that puts, and it's really our human psychology that we have a hard time associating math and numbers and even this idea of compound with outcome. If I challenge the tiger, I'm either going to win or I'm going to get killed. But if I challenge the math, you can do the same thing. You can either ruin your goals or you can succeed in achieving them. And so I think that relationship between this is the math, this is the ROI, this is the APR, without getting too technical about how many tens of thousands or millions of hex does this require and all this minutia. How do I convert from one currency, which might be dollar, euro, yen, whatever, into a different currency, which might be ETH or BTC, to get it into something else? You're jumping through all of these steps. And so I think if it's not you guys, it might be the other people that are experimenting with just the transaction being paid with Hex, not Ethereum, jumping into Ethereum and then on the other end locking or staking Hex. So I think it's just exciting. This is the most exciting thing in DeFi. It's the most exciting thing in crypto and in finance, in my opinion.
Yeah. Speaking to that, somebody just asked a really cool question. Says RG, could you ask them if they can set up something where we can see ETH fees going down, something to find the time when the cheapest gas fees are? I mean, not a big deal, but you know, when the network gets clogged up, maybe you can. Is there any way to pull that data?
Well, it's interesting because they could tie into the ETH gas station, and you can see when the big waves are happening, kind of trending. Right now, maybe through AA and other synchronized events around the world, like when you had this ICO craze of 2017, everybody would be launching at the same time. Of course, they had huge fees. But if they chose to launch at some weird UTC, you had to wake up at 3 in the morning in order to throw money in the bucket.
Make sure nobody's messing with kitties.
Yeah. So, I mean, with their UI experience, they can just have a little tiny meter that says, this is the trend. This is probably the best time to participate in the stake or in the decision. You know, because when you're planning a retirement, you're planning, you know, an ROI, you're planning, I'm going to, you know, what do I need in 5 years down the plan, which most financial and insurance products try to pitch you on. That's what they're trying to pitch you, is to buy. And, you know, you can make a decision anywhere in a window. It's not an impulse buy. It doesn't have to be an impulse buy.
Yeah. And it's not only people that are maybe have more significant amount of money than are staking larger sum that we're targeting. Is like a whole spectrum. I think the fees right now in Ethereum are, I think an issue to onboard people that have like more modest budget. It could be students, it could be even people that just want to try it out, right? And if you're putting $100 and you're already paying like $3 in fees, it's like it's quite pricey for the service being given to you. So actually with Firebun, we are looking into creating a business model where for any user of Staker, it's just more predictable how much fees you're gonna pay, and we'll try to absorb any volatility that there is on the fee market for you. So there's a couple of exciting things that we are currently working on, but at this stage, I think it's a bit too early just to disclose the specific.
What's interesting, last thing, and I got to step away. I'm sorry to dominate for this moment, but when I go to the grocery store and I buy something off the shelf and I go to the cashier and then I pay for it and I take it to my car and I take it away, I didn't get a breakdown on what the electric bill, the water bill was, what's the liability insurance, how much did that cashier charge me out of my purchase of donuts. It's not broken down. And so if you have a UI, whether it's radio dials or whatever you decide to do, and you do have this technology of basically, I don't need to know all of the fees, like when you just said about, okay, the gas fee at this time is this, and now I realize it's another $2.12 because this is the wave. I don't care, as long as I'm getting my my idea and the potential of my idea. You know, there's always risk in everything that you speculate on. You can speculate on buying a house in a beautiful neighborhood, and a gas line from the PGE can blow it up, and the town's gone, right? So there's things that you can always say. There's speculation in everything that we do. However, I don't need to have all of the breakouts. I don't need to have all of the coverages and the riders. An insurance policy has like 50 pages on it sometimes, because it has subcategories of subcategories of subcategories that you're paying for. But all I care about is, here's my premium, here's my monthly bill, and am I covered? Yeah, okay, I'm covered, I'm good. Same thing with gas fees, same thing with transactions. If you can make that UI and that you know, I just want to hit the button and then go to sleep, and then tomorrow find out, oh yeah, it went through, great. I don't want to have to deal with the back and forth, you know?
So what we're currently working on is not only the UI and, you know, the easiness of using it, is even like at the back end the back end level, being able just to provide, like, you know, cheaper fees that the current market is giving, and even having the ability just to replay the transactions in case they were failing, or they were about to fail. So we're just looking into a very interesting piece of technology that gives us more confidence when you're pushing a transaction through, especially if you're building a ladder with like 30 transactions. So that's what we are going for. It's not only cosmetic aspect of things. It's really like a better solution so that the overall experience is better for anyone using Staker.
Great. I really appreciate the time. I got to step out. I have a different business call, a different country, so I got to go change clothes.
All right, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later, man.
Yeah, come on my show looking like a bag of donuts and then go somewhere else and look right, right?
Later.
Right on, bro. See you.
Yeah. I think the gas fees are going to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
Tether has been talking about, since Tether's like 80% of the gas fees essentially in Ethereum, they're planning to actually leave Ethereum onto a Go pretty soon.
Wow.
And, yeah, and they've been pumping money into that
I
project.
saw your little OMG post.
Yeah.
I sold all my OMG for Hex.
Yeah. OMG was boring as hell, man. Trust me.
I'd
OMG
like
was
to make
boring.
just a quick comment. Like, we like feedback and like ideas like this, but like we're like miles ahead of these ideas. Like, that's all I'm gonna say.
Don't tell them.
These guys
Like-
are Spice Kings. Look at their eyes, they're blue.
So
Dude, like I'm
I'm trying to do like
and
PR control
Steph-
and not to give too many expectations,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
Firebun
Not-
is crushing me there.
Listen, Steph is really good with UI stuff. I mean, like he was like telling me about the percentage drop off after having to go from one page to another in an app or like switching apps, and talking about like how we need to utilize shapes and colors and like all that sort of stuff. So I think I feel pretty confident that Steph's gonna do a good job with the front end side of things.
Hell yeah.
I got lucky. It's not so much like only the front end, but the entire like business and the approach to delivering a product that has value for end users. I got lucky just to be involved in very large scale projects in my current company, and if I can redeploy these skills now for a financial product, I think even gamification is something I've done in my current professional project. So these things are a bit like now are becoming natural to me. So hopefully you guys are going to be excited in a couple of weeks.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I've been waiting for such a long time. You guys have just been hinting, and I was
It
like,
hasn't been that long.
Yes, it has. In Hex time, it is.
in Hex time, it's a
Okay,
long time.
true.
It's a long time
It
in
is.
Hex time.
Firebun been messaging me and throwing little trinkets in my ear, saying, "Oh, you can't say nothing about it, but we're gonna maybe do something like this and something like this."
Let me check. When did we announce it? Like, let me check quickly. It was the 14th of June. Come on, two weeks.
Okay.
Dude,
You
I just remember
I'll
want
take
the
it.
next big things in X.
I just remember
you want it now. Okay.
Steph was talking about version 2 and he's like, I've got a vision. And then somebody in the tweets was like, Firebun and Steph working together, confirmed. And I was like,
Confirmed. Hey,
you
Steph,
guys
I've
breathed
been
way
egging
too
it
deep.
on.
That wasn't even intentional. Oh, that's funny.
Right on. No, what Jim was talking about, I've used those often, moving jobs and moving 401ks around. They have those investment type calculators, and having something that's more user friendly and interfaced and maybe gamified might be that might be some cool stuff. That's probably what you guys are aiming towards when it comes to staking and stuff, right?
Incentivizing staking longer and more optimal. Yes.
Right.
And like small competitions with incentives.
Well, I mean, and then for instance, like, okay, so we like what he was saying was, this is a financial product. And so when I step up to the plate and I look at my financial product website from my job and my 401k, they say, well, when would you like to retire? How would you like to retire? And you enter all of these metrics, and then, it tells you what you should do in order to, achieve that, so, that I think that's what Jim was getting at. I don't know if you kind of caught it, but a lot of these sites do that, these 401k sites and whatnot.
The first thing that I sent over to Steph was a screenshot of my 401k and what kind of parameters they were asking me for. So we're on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
You mean your 101k?
Yeah, you're 101k. Yeah.
They're not 401ks anymore, guys. Just to let you know, they're 101ks now.
Yeah. And I probably don't have to tell you guys this because you guys are just like, I can tell you guys are sages with all this, but like I've seen this with a lot of other like websites where they add too much gadgets too soon, where it just becomes sort of a list of gadgets where like the UI and the usability is just like, well, cool, I'm using like this little section of the website and there's all this stuff that I don't use. And I don't know, maybe like a hybrid between what you guys are doing and what Apple does, where it's like really simple, but not then keep adding features slowly, but then being so perfect and so user friendly that it's, you guys know what you guys are doing. But
no, I like hearing.
No,
I really do. Like,
I
I want to know what other
making-
people find important in the
Yeah.
Hex community.
yeah, because there's some products that
you're
Apple
making
comes
a
out.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're making a good point. Because the challenge is, especially on mobile, like the real estate that you have is quite small, so you need to be a bit smart, like what you present and in which order, having some sort of prioritization. And I mean, if people, we're gonna have like to make some compromise, right? If you want to look for a wider adoption to the current, X community, to the wider crypto community, or even further than that, you need to make some trade-off about how much data you put in front of users, how you kind of dumb down the informations, and then maybe at later stage you can look into more advanced mode where you see way more details. But we'll have to make this arbitrage.
Yeah, and I'm go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I'm just really glad you guys are adding the iOS and Android version of this, because like I feel like in a lot of crypto, because I'm in a lot of other crypto projects, and the amount of disrespect for mobile is insane to me. It's like a lot of the developers are too focused on PC, online like that, where most people, 80% of crypto is done on the phone, damn near now. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but there's something called I think it's called DApp3, which was just kicked off of iOS, where like I used to be able to buy Hex on my phone through Uniswap through like something like a Trust wallet, and that was taken out. And it's basically the only online wallet on your phone that's allowed to use it now is Coinbase's wallet now, which is some collusion on iOS a little bit. But I don't know if you guys know that already, but yeah, it's such bullshit.
And we might have to face the same thing. I mean, both Google and Apple have too much power. There's not enough competition, so they can afford just to keep people around. So I think we'll try to be as careful as possible. We are very serious in the way we're developing the project, in the narrative that we're putting out there, the kind of branding. We are going to be registering a company against Staker, so we are very serious about what we are doing. And but it doesn't mean that we won't be facing the same thing that other companies, crypto companies, or have been facing with regard to both the Play Store and the App Store.
So when you do gamify or incentivize, all of it's going to be in Hex, right? You guys aren't planning on building any other coin or anything like that, any tokenization of it, or?
Maybe you're gonna build the HEX token. No, I mean, just
classic, right?
I'm just kidding. We don't. Yeah, you need to pick your battles. What we want to focus on is like the X protocol is complex enough. There's so much to do just to simplify the ecosystem and making like to create adoption there. Creating a new token with another level of tokenomics on top of that does not do a good service, just helping promoting Hex in our opinion. So we're just focusing on the basics and try to bring it on this way.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
What do we got in the chat room? Somebody asked when beta.
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
We'll tell you guys. 4 weeks.
5 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, so the thing with the ETA is like as I just said, is we're building something with a bit of care and we're serious about it. So we just want to make sure that things are looking nice when we release it. We'll probably have some level of like alpha testing in the community and beta testing. I have a couple of like buddies of mine that have done a lot of like mobile development as well. I will be helping with testing. Same thing on the design. Like we're getting some additional help of people where we're doing some level of consulting with those people. So I think overall on the technical side, on the experience side, it's going to be very well rounded. So that's why I think you guys need to bear with us so that we can deliver a product of good quality.
No, everyone's going to push you.
Take your guys' time. Like I want some kind of project. This is like one of the first things I've actually heard in here that I'm like, yes, this is good. Please, more of this.
Yeah, we're trying to take Hex Super Saiyan. That's all I've got to say about it. Some of that, like, the things, the flames go. Yeah, you get it.
Yeah. Take the fusionary, man. Here you go. Let's.
Me and Steph put like some of this and fuse together for the end.
Do the permanent one, man. 1 year each. Let's go.
I'm looking at some of the messages here.
I just noticed everyone on the stream has glasses.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we're nerds. What are you trying to say?
Yep.
What was that? The I already forgot that cat's name. The guy with the glasses that everybody was memeing. Do you guys remember?
I have
I'm sorry?
idea.
The guy that jacked that stream with Richard. The guy with the glasses.
Oh, Yavin.
Yavin. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
calling them the Yavins. They were calling them Yavins. So if you wore glasses on stream, it was your Yavins.
Your Yavins. That's hella cool.
So lay it on us, Firebun.
No, but
You've got more to talk about, I know.
I pass things through Steph. Steph's like my filter for how much.
Yeah.
no, but I think
Firebun,
That's in the
get you
stream
more
as well.
spice. Come on.
All right, let's go to the chat then and see what we got in here. Boom, 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 boom. Down, people down. Hex shares keep. By the way, thanks everybody for jumping on. We got 104 people streaming or watching the stream. What do you guys think?
So one thing we were discussing earlier in terms of like making the people managing their fund a bit better is as well as just trying to incentivize them to stake longer and compare themselves to other folks in the ecosystem. We want to be able, and that's the beauty of having a lot of volume on Uniswap, to show people, hey, this is on average the ROI of people that have been trading on Uniswap for the past 6 months,
Right.
compared to people that stake, right? Once you have that in front of your eyes, and even if we provide some sort of like Uniswap a portal within Staker, you'll be seeing that the stats of people doing this kind of behaviors. This is how much they're rewarded, or this kind of behavior. This is how much they're rewarded. And once you have information in front of you, I think that creates like better incentive for you. So I think all around, if by the end of the year we manage to have all the people that use Stakers just doing better than the baseline, or I think this is like mission accomplished for us.
Right. Something really cool? That'd be cool if you had a button that said fill the spots, where you would, if you, let's just say you were going to do some stakes, it would tell you like the least stake day and just putting stakes on those days. Eventually, and then sort of becomes sort of a game where everyone's doing that, and then eventually it just keeps changing days. It just spread out.
We start building days. I mean, they're all going to get pretty thick eventually, Yeah.
The overstake or the three. Eventually I will come out with that video, the 3-year strategy or the 3-year cycle I've seen for Hex, but I'm still working it out. I'm doing it on like pen and paper pretty much right now.
Cool.
I'm not even doing it on the computer. I'm just so I'm like secret.
So that was that's part of the plan is to find staking dates, right? I mean, you're going to look for holes in the staking days and give those like ranks, give those dates ranks or something.
We've talked about like different staking models that we can use. I mean, maybe not in the beta release, but I mean, those are the things that we're considering. Like, I know somebody that's like a statistician, and he does a lot of like, Monte Carlo simulations. Like maybe at some point, if things go well, we hand over the math stuff to somebody like that, so that we can really like make sure that what we're suggesting is as close to optimal as we can be.
Right.
So, I mean, those are the things that we're thinking of, though. Like, this is, I mean, we're trying to do this the right way. So,
right. Do you guys have like a donation address or anything? Because I would love to donate to you guys, man. This is like so awesome.
What do you think, Steph? I mean, so what we have set up right now is, and this is why I don't know, you probably saw that tweet the other day, but I think it's Gnosis Safe. That's what we're using for like funding. And it's like a multi-sig safe where basically you can add 2 addresses. So I added like my referral address and Steph's. And then it requires both of our signatures in order to like send transactions out. So that's kind of cool. Maybe that's something that we'll share.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like,
but yeah, we haven't really talked about like taking donations or anything up front. I mean, we already have established a lot of expectations, and I have like, you know, my goals set very high. But I would feel bad if, like, you know, people are donating and I don't know, maybe things didn't turn out as good as I thought they would. I don't know.
Right. I wouldn't care. I mean, if I sent it, I wouldn't care, man. I'd be like, I'm helping 2 dudes that I actually like. It's fine, dude. It's whatever, dude. You know what I mean? It's like no expectations, but you know, if I could just help out in any way, that'd be really cool. You know, because I know you guys have been stand-up guys since the beginning. You know.
Yeah, I think we'll be sharing soon a bit more about like maybe the timelines, more additional features. I think every couple of days we'll be just posting, you know, some of the progress on the Twitter accounts. But even for donation, because we're currently registering the business, double checking with our lawyers and accountant that, you know, this is the right stuff that we need to put in place to accept donation or payments or whatever it may be. So we'll share when we're ready.
Right on. So not to change the subject or anything, are you guys getting more work done now that we're in a little sideways action, and are you glad that it's kind of quiet right now, or are you guys ready for some action?
Actually, that's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best. Just not to have too much price movement, because we can focus when there's no drama in the community. We can try to focus a little bit.
I got distracted the past 2 days. Not gonna
yeah. We all
was gonna say so. Like the price, you know, not much, but you know, the drama. That's, you know, I got distracted. Yeah.
I feel like we were like howling on like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, the last couple of days have been distracting, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's good to be honest. I think that everything that's happened in the last few days has been good for the community, because I think it opened up discussion, and, you know, like everything's out on the table and everything's naked. You know, it's like, okay, now everything is exposed, everyone's exposed. Let's put the facts on the table and everybody hash this out. You know, because it's too early, you know, like Coin was telling me this earlier. He's like, man, it's way too early to be having any infighting in, you know, in the project in Hex. And to be honest, it's not, in my opinion, because crypto's just that way. You know, I mean, there's always freaking drama for some reason. There's always drama. And I didn't know it was going to be here that it happens, you know, but I guess it is. I mean, Friday stream, like, I think it got 2,500 views or something like that already. I mean, that's insane. People were like scouring through that thing, pulling stuff out. I mean, I was getting clips sent to me all the time, and it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I didn't expect it to happen here, but I guess where else is it going to happen? You know, this place is where everybody talks shit and says what they want, and that's okay. Yeah. So, and I laugh about it all.
Yeah. Well, as the Hex community, we got to be better than these other asshole projects. I mean, we're already leagues above it anyway, but, you know, I understand there's always going to be a little bit of infighting always, but we got to kind of look at the long-term picture, especially since we're long-term stakers. A lot of us.
Yeah.
There's I see a lot of 555 stakes out here. So, I mean, there's a lot of long-term thinking, I'm thinking, right? So we got to make sure not to divide up our community so early on, like what the hell are we doing? There's, like I was saying on the last stream, like if you are going to invest into some of the other projects that ever come out and stuff, I mean, don't throw your whole portfolio in there. Do an 80-20 split or something, 80% in Hex and 20 if you even want to do that. But like, I was hearing craziness of people putting their entire Hex bag into something, and I was like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like,
Yeah,
that was some irresponsible ass shit. But do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
there was a big scam out in the crypto world. I think Richard posted. I didn't get a chance to read it. I've been really busy the last couple of days myself, but didn't somebody lose a crap
500,000? I think it was the Balancer. So Balancer is kind of becoming more popular. They have their incentive token, which is the ticker's BAL. So what Balancer does is you can allocate a certain amount of the pie of this portfolio to different coins. So maybe you do like 30% ETH. I don't know if it'd be wrapped ETH in this case. 30% something else, and 30% whatever the 40% something else. So what happened in this case is there are these tokens that are like pretty popular, especially on Uniswap, and they have like a burn function, and when you transact with other people, it burns part of the supply.
Right.
So I think, from my understanding, there was a bunch of transactions occurring with this Balancer pool, and they had this burn token inside of the pool. So when the transactions occurred, the Balancer pool doesn't recognize that the token's like deflating until you run an action called gulp. And I think that realizes the actual value of the tokens in the Balancer pool. So basically the slice that was like 40% went down to 10% of the pool in like a snap. And that means that the value of that token is that much higher compared to everything else in the pool. So then people were just like sending in the token to get like ETH out, for example.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like
burn function, baby.
pretty creative. But like the reason I know about these burn functions is because I get like a lot of token requests for Uniswap.vision. And so the thing about the burn tokens that I think the reason why they're so popular is because you put in the pool, and then anybody that buys anything, they can never sell that much back into the pool because it burns part of their token. Like if you buy the token, it'll burn it. And if you try and sell it back, then you have like 99% of what you took out, for example. So I think those projects are popular right now because whoever the creator is can like, be pretty certain that they're going to be profitable.
Yeah.
If people transact on it. It's kind of
somebody
crazy.
uses it.
Yep. So yeah.
And those coins are tied to like assets essentially, right? Depending on which the individual like slice of each of those coins, right?
It's just the coins directly. Like they're just ERC20s, and the ERC20 transfer, I believe, has some sort of burn function built into it.
Okay.
So it's like it is the assets in the Balancer pool.
Okay.
So
It's like swap liquidity, but with more tokens, essentially.
So fire. So what I'm trying to understand is, so these people that exploit these things, find them, are they people sit there and read the code and go, hey, I found this and I'm going to go freaking exploit this? Or do people just find out usually by using it and something screws up and then, hey, they just start?
Yeah. It's hard to say. Like, I imagine.
There are people like you out there freaking looking for shit going,
and they're like, oh shit, we got to go all in, burn them all, baby. And then, I think the Balancer team is going to be reimbursing them, but like, it's a standard ERC20 token, and their protocol just didn't handle it properly. But I don't know. I think that was just a risk from the start, I guess.
Yeah, and it's common. It's common. We just seen it just happen in our community. So it's these little exploits are common, and gosh, man, look, Bitcoin even had a couple, right? So these are devastating. I'm just I'm glad that Hex has been as solid as it has been. There hasn't been anything found on Hex yet, and it's been running strong for What are we on now? How many months are we? What are we? 7, 8 months now?
I don't
I
even
think so.
know.
So
Yeah,
quite a
something.
few.
Yeah, we're 7 months
Yeah,
going on 8.
we're deep. We're in there.
I feel like I've been
Dang.
in Hex for like 3-4 years, man.
Yeah, dude. Definitely like aged 3 or 4 years.
Right. Because we've been hearing like, Hex is going to come out one day. I'll make a token. Then we'll make a token. And then 4 weeks
Uh-huh.
later, launch time. And then we've just been staking. And it's been a really interesting ride this whole time.
Yeah,
Yes,
but that's
sir.
why I think people need to be very careful when they're engaging with new protocols on DeFi, because I think it's like any protocols, any rules, any regulation. The more there is, the more they're intertwined, the more there is loopholes for some sort of people to exploit. So if you see a new token out there, a new protocol, and a new thing shiny, even increasing in price, I would be very, very cautious to put any money there until it has proven to be solid. Because, as you can see, that exploit that we've seen on Balancer, it must have been someone that is a fairly savvy on reading and running, solidity, because it's something quite advanced, because they had to use multiple protocol to extract some money. So there's people with knowledge that are lurking out there. So if, as an investor that doesn't know anything too much about like these new protocols, would just be very, very cautious and patient, not to be too greedy when seeing new things being released.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Richard
That's
has a little comment here. And he said, the best code is no code. Reduce attack surfaces. Yep. I mean,
This is true.
simplicity is best, right?
Right. There seems to be like an attack in DeFi every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's a lot of innovation going on, but I mean, that's the risk with it. But yeah, something to
Right.
keep in mind for Balancer after the hack. This is just something I saw on Twitter, but the Balancer pool is as strong as the weakest token in the pool. So if one of the tokens is exploitable, then basically they're all at risk.
Oh,
So
man.
something to keep in mind about Balancer. And I did request, so I'm not sure if we can use Balancer yet with Hex, but I did request for us to get added on there. So we'll see what happens. It might just be they have like a whitelist, and it might just be for earning their incentive token or whatever. But we'll see.
Yeah. I tried to play with it and tried to create a X.XETH pool, and X was not listed in there, at least in their UI, just to pick a token and create a pool. So.
Okay, yeah, so maybe that's it, because they did require like the Trust Wallet logo and some other things like that.
Right.
So the DeFi hype, which I'm seeing a lot in crypto, is good for Hex. In my mind, it says Alan saying at some point people will find Hex and invest. So people are looking for DeFi. DeFi is this, the buzzword out there right now. In fact, on this Wednesday, I'm going to have Nerd Girl back on, and she wants to talk DeFi and talk about the crypto community and DeFi and how Hex fits in. And she said she's discovered some things about Hex that she wants to talk about, so she's excited about it. So it's cool seeing. I mean, she's kind of becoming part of the community now. She came in at first and started asking things, and even her co-host Steph on his show, they started. He's been tweeting a lot about Hex. So he's kind of somebody. He was never on the outside. He was in the project from the beginning. He was in Hex from the beginning, but he has always asked hard questions, and his show has always asked hard questions. And even when myself and Coffee went on there, they were kind of pretty critical. They weren't bad or idiots about the whole thing, but they're pretty critical about the typical stuff. And but they've really kind of turned into supporters. They're like part of the Hex Twitter, I see them out there bashing everybody as hard. I mean, they're part of the swarm. It's like an ant swarm when somebody says something ridiculous on Twitter, man, the freaking Mexicans come out of the woodwork, man. There isn't a tweet now that doesn't get, smashed instantly. It's just like ding, 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 ding. It's awesome.
We got to keep tweeting those bot emojis, man. Beep boop, beep boop, beep.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious.
The bots. Yeah, that's.
Oh my God.
That one guy didn't expect that. I don't think he was like, "Oh boy, here comes here. Watch the hex bots and watch everything go up," and everyone just freaking swarmed him.
When is that interview? Is it pretty soon?
I think it's Wednesday.
That was a different.
Cool.
Yeah, that was different. So that's
okay.
That was supposed to be on Wednesday.
The Wolf.
Yeah,
dude.
Is that when it comes out, or is that when they're going to do it?
I thought it was on Wednesday. Not
okay, because that guy says he records it and then he sticks it up there or whatever. He doesn't.
Maybe that's what it is then.
Yeah, he says he records the deal and then he puts it out. So that's why all of his he kind of pulled it down. Everyone's like, "What, is this not happening now?" And he's like, "No, I record and then I put it out," because he was launching other people's stuff and I'm like, "Where's Richard?" So. And it'd be good to see him out there again.
I do find it funny when people are in crypto, they put a lot of Wolf of Wall Street stuff for their avatars.
Oh,
it's like, bro, that's a scammer. he's a cool dude.
It's about the money, though, I guess.
It's about the money. I mean,
I would have gone Wall Street or something instead than Wolf of Wall Street.
It's really a pathetic look out there. These guys acting like they're freaking stockbrokers and all this bullshit. It's like, no, dude, you're in crypto, man. It's why are you bringing that whole garbage freaking look with you? Why are you bringing that? That's not who we are and what we're about. This is cypherpunk shit right here, man. This is like the dregs of society trying to freaking kill finance out there. Why do you want to bring that shit in here, man? It's not a place for it, I'm disgusted with the whole freaking crypto world, man. They've turned into these financial freaking geniuses now, and they're giving trading advice and all this crap. Is like, guys, you've turned into what you were supposed to despise. I mean, crypto, the people that created crypto in the beginning are rolling over in their graves if any of them are dead, man. I mean, it's not what it was supposed to be. That's why I did this at the show, the whole pirate thing, man, because we're supposed to be freaking crypto pirates. That's what this is about, Get away from all that shit and freaking be a free spirit and get into DeFi and try and leave all that other bullshit behind,
So even if privacy is almost non-existent right now on Ethereum and most of the blockchains, the good side of that is it creates transparency, right? And this is why you can build some stuff like exciting, like the feed I've got on Hexologist. Well, all the stats that Firebun is putting together. You could imagine now with trading, it's similar things where if you're gonna see emerging some different set of crypto traders, well, now you're gonna public records of their trades, right? So if it's not the case, you're gonna see some competition between people saying, well, give me the list of your trades, and these things you're gonna see the differences between people advertising how well they're doing versus the people not sharing their positions. So I think there's pros and cons with having that information readily available on the blockchain. But I see a market for people being financial advisor or traders being forced to be more transparent with how well they're doing.
A truth engine, basically, with the crypto. Yeah.
Kind of.
Something that was really funny when Hex came out, we were we compared Hex at the time mostly to we were the number one staking product, right? And because DeFi has not gone hot, now if you actually look at Hex, we're a hybrid between a staking platform, of course CD, and then we're the most DeFi thing out here, which is pretty funny. So it's we're the most DeFi product and we're a staking product, and it's we've taken both the hype waves and fuse them together.
And people just haven't realized it. That's the sad part. Is you got these people that are trying to farm yield, man. They're like,
Yield farmers.
let me put things, let me borrow from Compound, put it somewhere else, and then like borrow more leverage and put it back in Compound, and then like get the yield and sell it. And it's just like a cycle of people borrowing and lending. So they're just trying to do what Hex does, basically.
Right.
So I don't know. It's interesting, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. The sad thing about Compound is, dude, they came out and they're on CoinMarketCap first page in like 3 days. That like, you just pay for it these days. You just buy it in. You get the right people on board.
There's some big money behind that project. It launched on Uniswap at $60, and it was at $60 for about 1 hour, 2 hours, and then it just blasted off. And literally, like when I was doing the stream right now, my phone got an alert from Coinbase. You can now trade Compound on Coinbase. Why the hell am I getting a random ass fucking announcement of Compound on my phone?
Somebody paid for that. You know that.
Oh yeah.
A lot of money got handed out for that token. I'm sure of it.
Because I heard, I was really into all those tokens and stuff like Cell and all these things. And let me tell you how much I heard about Compound. 0. Before, like, and then just magically all these websites have all these articles on yield farming and this and that. And I wonder who's paying for all that advertisement on all these, Cointelegraphs and stuff and everything. Like come on, like. Especially if anyone that's been around since 2017, you're starting to see the game a little bit after all these years, and you're seeing like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. And it's like we're pretty much copying the same bullshit from the traditional market over here. We're like, hey, here the street, here over here. Let me give you let me get the Motley Fool. Let me put some money in your pocket right here. Hey, talk about my coin. Talk about my junior miner. Talk about same shit, dude. Same shit.
You know what's cool is that Hex is doing it with freaking ridiculous shows like this and funky looking white papers and scammy looking websites and, YouTubers. And I mean, it's like totally just freaking raw marketing, just guys, just people that are interested in the project, people that are interested and have, faith in what it's doing and like what it's doing and just going out there and making it happen. That's what's freaking cool to me is there's none of this bullshit. I mean, getting gate kept everywhere and still kind of like blasting through things and getting put on exchanges. And I mean, it's been from December until now, you look at all the shit that Hex has gone through and how it's actually come to rise as it is. I mean, it's a freaking badass story, man. It's going to be so fucking cool in the future to like tell this story and show people what we had to do to get it out there and what we had to fucking go through and crawl through the shit that we had to deal with. And, I mean, it's going to be a damn good story, man. It's going to be awesome.
They're going to make a movie about this.
I mean, the timing just feels like there's just a convergence of so many things that like led up to where we are. I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, like Uniswap. I mean,
Uniswap
meeting
Hex.
with Uniswap and
it's things that like didn't exist before. It's crazy to me. And like this could be like the first thing that takes advantage of all of the different things.
Yeah, like a true DeFi, like the first time a true DeFi project ever got released into crypto. And. It's going to be a bad story, man. I'm excited to be part of it. I mean, I'm just freaking thrilled because I've always believed in crypto and I've never put a lot of faith into it as far as from an investor standpoint. I've always kept it where it belongs in my portfolio. And, I've always had a lot of hope for it. I really liked it. I liked the freaking, just the badass pirate ass cypherpunk fuck everybody in the world attitude that crypto had. It's like me. I wanted to be part of it, and it failed miserably. It just freaking shit all over itself, for the last 10 years. It just sucked, and it just kind of sucked the hope right out of me that, man, I was hoping this was really going to be something, because you see you want all these. I'm like an underdog guy. I like the underdog to win. I want to see the big guy get fucking his ass kicked, and the little guy just freaking drill him. It's that thing that I like so much about crypto. And then it disappeared, and we ended up with guys like Tone and all these other pieces of shit out there acting like ass wipes, making it look bad and making it look corporate and making it, just ridiculous, fucking hated it, man. It just left a bad taste in my mouth. And now when Hex came, when I saw Richard, I'm like, he's a fucking real crypto pirate, man. That guy's a real fucking cypherpunk. He's against the system. He's smart. He's like one of the guys that can really bring it back, and give it that attitude and give it that fucking thing back, And then as I saw Hex come out, and I'm like, oh shit, man, that's it. That's it. That could be it, and that feeling's back, and that's why I like this whole thing that I'm doing here is with the pirate. Is just like, this is where the fucking shit is happening again, and Hex is doing it, and it's raw, and it's getting beaten on, and everybody's hating it, and it's just like, oh yeah, give me more. I love it. Because one day we're gonna slap you on the goddamn face with this thing, man, and it's gonna be glorious.
Damn.
Anyway, we're coming. We're coming.
No, man, I'm excited. I know we've been in this downturn, we took a big dump. We did. Hex took it's low, man. And I don't know what the percent, what are we at? 60% or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Somebody
stopped looking at like percentage down. Yeah.
We're just down half. I mean, dude, just from where we started, it was like.
But that's a dip. That's a dip, and then we're sideways, and then it's a little dip, and it's sideways, but I'm more excited now than ever because I know it's the calm before the storm, and it's coming, and like the past has already been started. All of I think Hex's hardest days are behind it. And from like within the next couple of months, it's going to be moving forward, it's going to be we're going to start opening people up with our swords and shit is what's going to happen, and it's going to start looking freaking badass for Hex, and I'm excited about that. That's all. I'm just starting to, I know we've been in this little lull, and then we had all this FUD this weekend or whatever, and that kind of drained some shit. But man, I'm refocusing again and looking at things and seeing what Hex is about to do. I'm excited, man. I'm fired up for this.
I can make Hex go to a new all-time high.
That's what I hope as well.
Well, it's guys like you and all of the developers that are out there, and and even the ones that are having a hard time right now, and we had our big fight with them. All of you developers, you guys are motivating the shit out of me because you guys are doing real fucking work, man. I mean, like this thing here, this isn't easy for me to do. I got 3 kids and all the other things that a guy my age has, and responsibilities and funerals and broken cars and all this other stuff, and I'm putting three days of my life into this. And I see all of you guys working your asses off, developing code and putting shit out there. I see all the work that's being done. I mean, there's, and this is all volunteer shit, man. I mean, you guys are going to be the heroes of this thing, as time moves on, the heroes of the story, and you guys are really doing a lot of work putting that thing together, man. That's, my hat's off to all of you guys that are doing that,
And
dude, it feels good, man. Like I like doing this stuff. That's the thing about it, is like I like doing this, and I like seeing good results too. And things have been going well, so it's like just a continuous like accumulation of, the work and I don't know, and like the payoff.
No, and you guys deserve it. And like I said, all the people that are out there working hard, trying to make Hex noticed, trying to get it just noticed, so that people take a better look at it. And, maybe they don't like your website, or maybe they don't like that website that's out there, but there's other things, there's other platforms to look at and see and be involved in, and bring you closer to Hex and get you involved in Hex. And that's what's important. And, some people may not like, and I know a lot of people don't like this show now, because a lot of them told me that over the weekend with their DMs. They're going to fucking watch me
with
again.
With alcohol on their breath. Like,
look, a couple of those. You know what? I almost appreciate those better, because then it's like, oh, bro, I didn't mean to freaking say that shit. Yeah, I was drunk last night. Now, that's cool, to be honest. It's like, hey, dummy, you freaking drunk texted me last night or whatever and told me off. But no, it's the people that are stone cold sober that are calling you shit and telling you off that, that's the ones that concern me, because it's like, fuck you all emotional for, bitch, But anyway.
Right. Yeah.
I forgot where I was going. I'm getting in rants. I'm getting excited, man. I'm excited because of guys like you. You guys are really freaking doing some shit, and it's awesome that people would actually just dedicate their time and say, you know what, this is important enough that I'm going to go and build on it and put a lot of time and a lot of effort and freaking real skills. I mean, you two guys got real ass skills that you're putting out there, and that's awesome. Nobody paid you. You're just doing this because you want to make Hex look better. You want to bring a better experience to people because of Hex. And you don't see that out in the world. It's always like, well, if I'm going to build something for something, and I know you guys aren't in it to do this for free or whatever, that, I know eventually, you might get a little shekels. I mean, I know that your guys' deal is a lot more thankless than it should be, because, if you guys are, real developers that make software for big companies, they make a lot of money, and they charge a lot for their shit. And you guys
Stock
are,
options.
And you guys are going to, pull some very small fees probably out of things, or very small shekels out of it. That's just the name of the game when it comes to crypto and people, donating their time to do stuff like this. But no, it's really exciting to see you guys be part of it and do that for the community.
Thank you for having us, RG3 and Litecoin. Guys, I'm gonna have to leave you because it's getting a bit late here in Paris. Or early.
Yeah, it's getting late.
I'm gonna come there to eat one day, bro. I'm just gonna fly like Richard's jet out there. I'm gonna ask him if he can let me just fly his jet out there. I'm gonna fly his jet out there, and then I'm gonna have lunch with you or something, dinner, and then I'm gonna fly back.
Sure. All the wine, all the cheese, all the baguettes.
Yeah, the baguettes and the croissant.
Croissant.
Yeah.
Right on, Steph. Well, Steph, thanks for coming on, bro, and for being a trooper and doing it at 4 a.m. A whole nother, aspect of your character. Appreciate you, bro. Go get some rest so you can build some more shit.
Sure.
Right on. Firebun, now you're ours, bro.
Oh, I'm vulnerable.
All right, so
We're
gonna hold your feet to the fire.
Okay, now that we ended the stream and stuff, so what's really going on in the background?
Yeah, what's really going on? We're not live.
Don't worry about it. The mics are muted.
But yeah, I think you guys get the vision. You get what we're trying to do. I think we got our point across. We didn't go through all the features that we have in mind, but you guys get the idea and where we're trying to land. So it's just about execution now.
Well, no, I'm excited about it. You and I have had conversations. You've talked about some of the things that you guys envisioned and how you guys want to move forward. And that's cool, man. You guys got some good stuff happening and hopefully you guys can deliver. I'd like to see it delivered.
Got a lot of expectations about you too.
Yeah, good. Hopefully we're going to deliver, but man, high quality, going for high quality and secure.
Hell yeah, man. And, I also want to take this time to thank the community, man. I've noticed a lot of people joining up to Twitter and, starting their first YouTube channels. And I see you guys starting that's freaking awesome, dude. That takes balls.
Yeah,
dude,
the community has really been stepping up, and I do appreciate that as well. Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
And the same with the channel here. We've got a lot of subscribers coming in. We got a ton of views over the weekend. I don't know if that was because of of course that was probably more for the fireworks or whatever. And I mean it just happens, and it wasn't that whole thing wasn't planned. That was somebody asked a question, and it turned into basically a shit show, and that's why it got so heated and. All that. Somebody said drama sells. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kurkowski. Yeah.
This is true.
What's up, Kurkowski?
And I guess it does. But, and it doesn't have to be that way. People, been around the block, and people, they get heated in the moment, and then they say things and they do things, and in the heat of the moment, and usually they back up and say, you know what? The fucking other person didn't deserve that, or I feel bad that I did that or said that or acted that way or whatever. Probably better if we just all sat down and kind of hashed this out, talked about it, and said, hey, I'm fucked up, you're fucked up. We can either agree to both be fucked up, or hey, you know what, I didn't mean to be as fucked up as I was, or no, it was me. I shouldn't have been as fucked up as I was. I see your facts and I see your facts. That's really how things should be handled. But a lot of times, people just get emotional and they say shit, and then all of a sudden it just turns into this big old thing, especially in the crypto community. And I'm telling you, that fucking Hexicans can meme like a motherfucker, man.
Right.
You guys, I mean, that show wasn't over, and there was like my DMs were loaded with memes of like people doing evil shit to other people. And I mean, it was just like, you guys are just too much, man. And that shit was out there like fast. Like, I mean, the crypto community and especially the Mexicans, man, they just do, it's brutal. It's just like instant, like,
yeah, savage.
It's freaking savage, man. You're some dangerous motherfuckers out there, man. Yeah. So I love it. I love it.
Those good texture memes were cracking me up, dude. Oh my god, man. Good texture Nostradamus. Oh, yeah. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, so it's cool, but again, people, I've seen it a million times. People say shit that they really didn't mean to say, but then really they meant to say it. They just didn't mean to say it that way, and the other person didn't take it the right way. So usually it gets worked out, and hopefully that's what will happen with all this stuff that's going on. It'll get worked out, and everybody will realize it. Nobody's really trying to be an asshole here. Everybody's just trying to act in the best interest of all Hexicans, and everybody out here. And I think that's what everybody really wants. Developers want to develop something good, and people that want to protect everybody else out there who are smarter than other people want to protect everybody with fierceness, and sometimes that clashes. So anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered one thing I wanted to say. So I'm not trying to look into people's finances or anything, but I feel like one of the reasons why there was so much fireworks with some of these other coins is because I think people weren't really dollar cost averaging. They were just more or less throwing their entire stacks into projects, trying to make quick cash to make a lot more hex, which there's nothing wrong with that. But, we do have to borrow some things from the traditional market, and dollar cost averaging really fucking works, especially for someone who doesn't have a lot of cash, right? You'll be surprised how much hex, how much Bitcoin, how much whatever coin you're trying to accumulate with dollar cost averaging. You'll be surprised at the end of the year how much you have. And I know a lot of people in the community feel like they missed out. And even I felt that. Everybody, I've talked to every influencer in the hex community. Everyone feels like they didn't buy enough hex. And trust me, we were like, I was there buying, $80 Ethereum and getting 1.3 million hex for $80, and that was some good hex. But I still started when the price started crashing. I started buying, and I'm pretty surprised how much hex I've gotten already. And it's like setting automatic buys or just going in, going through Uniswap, getting your hex, or going through the AA, getting your hex that way. You can accumulate quite a large bag. I mean, you'd be surprised. 10,000 a day is a lot. 10,000 hex a day is at the end of the year, right? Is still 3.6 million hex that you wouldn't have had, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Especially
And
if we go to pennies, that's a lot of money.
and I don't think anybody
doubt.
should be, feeling like they missed a boat at all. I mean, right now we are low. I mean, if this thing, goes to a penny, I mean, look at what you've done to your stack. I mean, it's not too late at all, especially if you're in before big payday. I mean, you get to automatically, increase your stack just because you got in before big payday. I mean, that's huge right there. That's like, when all of these ICOs were going out and they would give bonuses to people who would buy, $3 million worth or $1 million worth or whatever. That's kind of what you got here with big payday, is that you've got a huge bonus just for being involved in the beginning of the project. I mean, that's like stuff that most people don't get to be involved in. That is
Right.
cool. That is a cool feature of Hex. I mean, I think it's a little underspoken about, is big payday. It's like that's a huge freaking deal, man. You're talking, like dollar cost averaging in, yeah, you said, what did you say? Like that's 3 million. Well, freaking now double it, and now you're 6. I mean, that's a freaking badass deal right there. That is a badass deal. And if this thing does, I mean, we've heard people, estimating that the coin may be worth anywhere from, a penny to 33 cents, and we've heard all the way to $17,000 per coin, but I mean, if it just goes to a penny, everybody's still looking pretty damn good at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I was buying in at the lows and I'm still buying, like, maybe not like at the top, because it was just crazy, like how high we had gone. But during this pullback, for sure, it's just like anything that I could scrap together from like,
outside of the kitchen sink. Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah. It's like, dude, Uniswap.vision has like become kind of an asset, because like I could just just start taking donations from there and like putting them into Hex, and that, I don't know.
I'll let you guys.
Yeah, thanks from that have been good to add to my stack, that's for sure.
So I've been like doing the same thing, kind of looking like, okay, where can I just scrape a little bit more, just a little more to get some more right now. So on the side of my house, I it's been there for like a couple years. I did a job for SpaceX, and I took this welding machine. It was this very intricate freaking welding machine to the scrapyard because they wanted it scrapped and destroyed. And so I got this thing in my truck, and they're just like, just get rid. We just want it destroyed. We don't want anything back for it. You guys keep the scrap, whatever. And we don't really do that much of that. Our company didn't. So I like stripped all of this aluminum. I mean, big plate aluminum off of it. I mean, hundreds of pounds, right? Stuffed it on the side of my house. And it's been sitting there for like a year or so, a couple years. And I'm like, I went over there the other day. I'm like, Hex. Hex. Next tomorrow, I think I'm gonna go load it up in my truck and take it down to the scrap yard and go get me some more Hex for that shit. It's probably about $500-$600 worth of shit back there, maybe even more actually.
You said pound, right?
What's that?
Pounds of aluminum.
Oh yeah, big thick plate. I'm talking 2-inch thick plate. It's like
you got thousands there.
No, I've got hundreds of pounds of aluminum over there. Wow. Probably
thousands.
Probably 700-800 pounds of aluminum. So
oh my gosh.
So I'm gonna go dump all that in the back of my little pickup truck and take it over there and see if I can get some more Hex with my SpaceX aluminum.
The aluminum.
Right on. So hey, tonight we're probably not going to go 6 hours. Do you guys have anything else you want to add? I know that Firebun, you're not going to talk. I know you're freaking going to bite your tongue, and we're not going to get any more out of you. You're just going to chit chat with it.
For sure. Dude, I'm locked down, man. Nothing's coming out.
You're locked.
Yeah.
Steph put a ring on the finger. It's done.
He's put a ring on.
Yo, we're basically in a marriage now.
Oh boy, that's cool. All right, man. Well, let's take a look real quick into the chat first of all, thanks everybody coming in the chat. You know, Kurkowski, Hexy Kong, which is everybody who don't know, Memes Hex changed his name because he was getting what do you call it? Cloned by somebody else, and everybody's getting confused. So now he is now Hexy Kong. Hexy Kong is the new memes master, and that's our man, Hexy Kong. Eshtar, who else is in there? Vince Chang, Chaotic Creations, which is our boy Johnny Chaos, Kurkowski, Arnar. Arnar's been hanging out with us, throwing a lot of text out there, or throwing a lot in the chat room. Kinetics is in there, one of our cutthroats.
Yes, sir.
As well as Kurkowski's one of our cutthroats too. We've got a group of kind of regulars. If you see a lot of the guys on the show, Firebun too, he's one of the cutthroats. So we've got a private group there. Everybody in the cutthroats gets to come on the show if they'd like to. And so anybody who's kind of proven this to be a supporter of the show, comes on the show regularly, we put them in that chat room, and you guys can hit the link and come on anytime. And if we don't have a guest that's, and we have room for you, you can come on and like freaking basically just crash the stream. So that's that's who the cutthroats are. If you hear me saying that every once in a while,
spicy conversations,
and there is some
extra
spicy conversations and a safe place too. It's like you can go there a lot of us go there just to kind of get away from some of the other Telegram groups that are over the weekend. They were fucking going nuts, man. Somebody said, was that you, Firebun, that said that? Oh, my happy place or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I went into the Discourse Syndicate chat. I was like, finally, my happy place. Everything was just so chaotic, man. I spend a lot of time in the chat rooms, like to my own detriment.
Yeah. I saw your name getting slashed around over there. So in some of the chat rooms, you were getting bandied about and handed to from one guy to another.
I remember me and Hexo went to like the Hex Pro chat because I was like, wait, remember that influx when the price really launched up? We got a ton of new users. Like I was like, oh my god, finally a chat where it's a little slow where I can read everything like a grandpa.
Oh man, it was just like boom, boom, boom. I was like, this is too much, man. I can't even sit in here. It's going crazy. It was fun though. It was fun watching it. Right on. All right, fellas. Well, we'll go ahead and call it an evening. We'll call it a short one. Shit, what's this? Discourse Syndicate ending in 2 hours? That is awesome. Friday was
blasphemy.
6. Friday was 6 hours. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to do 6 hours, man. That was just anyway. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate you all. Appreciate you for coming hang out with Discourse Syndicate. We'll see you guys on Wednesday, where I'm going to have Nerd Girl come on. She's kind of an outsider, but she's getting closer to Hex, guys, and she has some cool stuff she wants to talk about at Hex. So that, and also earlier that day, I'm going to still got to confirm it, 100% confirm it, but at this point, it looks like I'm going to have Dev Kyle on also on Wednesday. So Dev Kyle's going to come on, answer some questions, do some talking, and then Nerd Girl's going to come on with us. So we're going to have both of them on Wednesday. So it's going to be pretty cool. And then Friday is going to be fucking off the chain because everybody has called me to get their spot in the ring. It's like it's going to be the fucking octagon on Friday. That's what's happening.
The hexagon.
It's going to be the hexagon because it's everybody's asking. They want in and they want to come say their piece. So I'm hoping that Friday. Well, we'll see what Friday turns out to be. I don't know what it's going to be, but
it's like
it's going to be
Hexomania running wild.
Don't think I ain't gonna fuck with the thumbnail too. That's gonna be cool. So anyway, but I'm hoping everybody can get their piece out and smooth things over with one another. So anyway, all right, guys, thanks for coming on. We'll catch you guys on Wednesday. Peace. See you. Bye-bye.
Hexomania 1.